What does a historian do? Historians study and write about the people and events of the past. They look for the causes of events and the effects of those events. To do this, they rely on certain tools to help them do research, organize, and draw conclusions about what happened in the past. Measuring time. A calendar is a tool for breaking time into units and keeping track of those units. With a calendar, you can measure how much time has passed between events. The dates in this book are based on the Western calendar, which break a year into 365 days. This calendar uses the birth of Jesus as a dividing point. The years before this date are known as BC, or before Christ. The years after are called AD, or Anno Domini, which means in the year of the Lord in Latin. Some people also use CE, or Common Era, and BCE, before Common Era. Historians are interested in chronology, or the order in which things happen. An easy way to keep a chronology of events is to use or make a timeline. A timeline is a diagram that shows the order of events within a period of time. Each section of a timeline represents a period of time. Events that are labeled and appear near the date on the timeline when the event took place. Analyzing sources. Historians look for clues about the past in primary and secondary sources. Primary sources are documents, photographs, recordings, or works of art written by or created by people who saw or experienced an event. Historians also use secondary sources, which are created by people who are not present at an event. Examples of secondary sources include biographies, encyclopedias, history books, and textbooks. Information in secondary sources is often based on primary sources. To organize and display information, such as percentages, numbers, and amounts, it is helpful to know how to use charts, graphs, charts, and diagrams. Charts can be used to organize facts and numbers. A table is one type of chart. It arranges data in rows and columns. Charts can also be used to summarize the main ideas of a topic. This makes it easy to review and compare material. Diagrams are drawings that show steps in the process, point out the part of an object, or explain how something works. They are sometimes called infographics. Graphs present numbers visually. 3 common types of graphs are circle graphs, bar graphs, and line graphs. Circle graphs show how the whole of something is divided. Each section of the graph represents a part or percentage of the whole graph. The complete circle represents 100%. Bar graphs use bars to compare numbers visually. They compare different items or groups. They can also compare items at different points in time. An example of a bar graph is shown below. Line graphs can also show how something changes over time. The amounts are usually represented by a dot. The dots are then connected by a line to show the changes in the amount over time. Historians use many types of thinking skills to help them understand history. Understanding cause and effect helps to determine why an event occurred. A cause is an action or situation that produces an event. What happens as a result of a cause is an effect. To determine if a source is reliable, it is necessary to be able to distinguish fact from opinion. A fact can be checked to prove it is true and accurate. An opinion is based on a person's values, beliefs, or ideas. It is neither true nor false. Opinions often begin with phrases such as "I believe" or "it seems to be." They may contain words such as should, never, always, best, and worst. To compare ideas, objects, or events, look for ways in which they are similar. To contrast ideas, objects, or events, look for things that make them different from each other. Follow these steps to help you compare and contrast. 1. Decide which items to compare or contrast. 2. Determine what parts you want to compare and contrast. 3. To compare, look for similarities between or among the items. Ask, how are these items alike? 4. To contrast, look for differences between or among items. Ask what makes these items different from each other. What makes each unique? Predicting future events is difficult. It helps to use knowledge of how or why something happened in the past to make a prediction. For example, if you know that conflicts over borders have often led to war, you may be able to predict the outcome of a current border dispute. When you make an inference, you are reading between the lines. That means you use clues in the text to learn something that is not stated in the text. A conclusion is a fact or opinion that you reach based on information you read or hear.